Hello everybody, this is for me a video reviewing the Stardew Valley Symphony of Seasons concert. I went to the Eventim Apollo on the 14th of February to view the concert in London. This is just a video going over my thoughts. It's probably mostly yapping. This is my second time recording this video and the first time when I spoke for a little bit longer than I hoped. So before I get started, I do just want to say that I did really enjoy the concert and that I would definitely recommend it to anyone sort of thinking of going. If there's new tour dates announced near where you live, I definitely recommend sort of going in because it was a really fun experience. I'm gonna try and keep the sort of concert and venue related comments separate. So if there's anything I sort of bring up that wasn't I'm not quite sure what decisions were made by the venue or made by the concert. Well, I'm trying to keep them separate. So I'm going to talk about the venue first. The venue itself was quite nice. It was right outside a tube station, so quite convenient to people to get to. I was sat in the stalls. I'll have a picture on screen, but they had a stall area, and then above it was what they called the circle, which was sort of above us. And from where I was sitting, I could see the stage perfectly fine. I could see all the musicians, and we got a really good view of the screen as well. The seats themselves, though, were a bit uncomfortable. Ultimately, they were fine, but I think if we'd been there any longer than the concert's duration, they just they were okay, but there wasn't much of an armrest, and there wasn't much of a gap between the seats either. And one of my main sort of issues with the venue is that you weren't allowed to bring bags. They had a cloakroom, but they specifically said if it's probably best to sort of book with a local place just where you can store your bags. So we didn't bring any, which is kind of funny because the merch stand was selling tote bags which were bigger than what they allowed. They did allow some bags, as long as they were smaller than A4. The tote bags were definitely bigger than that. So it's kind of funny. I'm not sure what the policy was there. And the drinks, they had a bar inside. They said they served alcoholic drinks, soft drinks, and snacks. I didn't see any snacks, but we bought a can of Pepsi, and it was £4. It was kind of crazy. I think that's I know it's difficult because if I'd known, there's no visible prices, so if I would have known, probably would have just not had anything to drink and just waited. We got the Pepsi anyway. And then I couldn't see, so as the armrest was small, there was no cup holder, so you just had to hold the drink the whole time. And I couldn't see any bins near where we were sitting. So I was kind of what are we meant to do with the rubbish? And then when the concert ended, it was everyone straight out the fire exit. So again, didn't have really a choice to find a bin inside the venue. We just had to take it out of us and then look for a bin outside. I mean, maybe it was you're supposed to leave the rubbish there, but I'd much rather be told hey, just leave your rubbish by your seats and we'll clean it up. And the leaving straight away was a bit annoying because how the show was laid out is so there was about 50 minutes of music, then there was a little interval and the rest. And when we got in, there was a huge group around the merch table. And so I was okay, well, I would like to get some merch, but I don't want to have to compete with all these other people. Especially because there wasn't a queue, it was just people like huddled around the table. But you know, I mean, it would have been a lot better. Like, I don't know who obviously was behind the merch table, whether it was the actual Stardew Valley concert company, or if it was the venue running the table on their behalf, because it just seemed a bit unorganized. So yeah, during the interval, I should have gone to look at the match, but I didn't really want to. Especially because I had no idea how long the interval would be. I didn't really want to go wait for merch and then be like, oh, it's starting again. And yeah, because I assumed, we're about to have a quick look afterwards. And the merch they had did look quite nice. I really wanted the tour booklet. I would say it's nice, but I don't think it's not something that I'm going to order for myself now I'm back home. I don't really know how to describe it. Like, it's nice merch, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get it. And then for prices, I have the merch website up right now. I don't know why, but it's showing me the price in euros. So, and I will say, the hoodies are so expensive. It's like about 65 euros for a hoodie. And then 35 euros for a t-shirt. Which is quite a lot. And then a tour booklet, about 18 euros. And poster, 13 euros. I really quite liked the tour booklet. So I don't know, maybe I assume the merch website's going to be up for a while. Maybe I'll order it at some point. But yeah, that was a bit disappointing. And I'm currently live playing Stardew Valley, so whenever the game freezes, that's because I'm checking something else. Let me check my notes. And then it didn't take us that long to get in. We got to the venue. So the concert started at 3. We got to the venue at about 2:05, and then we were in about 10 minutes later, which was quite quick. I will say they were rearranging the queue barricades. Oh, what's this? Okay, a cutscene, I guess. They were rearranging the barricades as we were in the queue, and the staff just weren't saying anything, which is a bit odd because everyone's what's going on? But yeah, there were so many people in the queue. Yeah, we got really quickly. It was really easy to find our seats. It was quite secure. Like, they had metal detectors, and I think they were checking everyone's bags. But there were a couple people I heard who said how they didn't check my bag, and they were kind of flexing about it, which is a bit odd. Because it is just about safety. I believe that might be everything I want to say simply that I'm pretty sure that one knew. Why did you say he's a good friend to me? We're married. Okay. I see how it is. I called the NPCs. This is the background. Your life is very bland. You live with me. We have children, I think. That's crazy. Why isn't Alex sitting with us? Just sat by himself. Why is he surprised we kissed? these cutscenes are so funny from if you're only experiencing them after a certain point. I don't know why why I didn't reach the conditions for this before. And then in regards to the concert itself, how it worked is, so it was 2 hours long. It started about like 3:10. And then there was an interval about 3:55, and that lasted about 15 minutes maybe, and then the whole thing was over by 5. And it was split into spring, summer, and an interval, and then autumn and winter. And I'm pretty sure, remembering it now, that the conductor said fall instead of autumn, which is like, I get that's how it is in the game, but it's not what we call autumn. If that makes sense. And the conductor also, he said dynamos in a way that I've never heard anyone say before, and a way that I can't replicate, which is a bit funny. I will say it sort of seemed like he wasn't completely prepared, or I really couldn't tell if he'd played Stardew Valley before. I'm gonna go to sleep just because I can't be bothered to. There you go. Which is sort of a shame. Especially because a lot of the immersion was like pretending that you're like going through, you're like living in Stardew Valley. You know, you're starting spring, then it's the summer, and etc. They had so I'm gonna have a link to the set list below. That's available on the website. What we had was different to the set list, so I'm not sure why exactly that is, because I believe on that one they have like Haley and Penny's themes. We didn't have that. But so we had Alex, Harvey, and Elliot's music. No other bachelors, as far as no other sort of marriage candidates, as far as I can remember. Lots of stuff, very good. Why is there truffles in there? Never mind. Okay. I'm sorry. This is like so messy. But there was at the start of the concert, they had like a QR code, and you could vote for your favorite Stardew Valley character. And the results really surprised me because the answers we found at the end, like who everyone voted for, like the top 3. I would have loved to see the full like list. The top 3 were, number 1 was Krobus, and number 2 was Linus, which really surprised me, and number 3 was Sebastian. Which I was sort of expecting like it to be like exclusively bachelors and bachelorettes at the top. But thinking about it does make sense, because if everyone's voting for their favourite, well, if people are voting for their favourite bachelor or bachelorette, that means that their votes are then split between like all of them, and so it means that the people who are voting like Krobus and Linus, their votes aren't divided. If that makes sense. What I was really hoping they would do, because this QR code showed for a full hour before the concert started, I was really hoping that it would be incorporated into the concert. Because what I wish they'd done is, it's hard to sort of put into words. I was hoping that they'd take whoever was the highest bachelor or bachelorette and then have like a wedding, or have it be like you're getting close to, because he said like at the end of spring, it's like you've met the villagers, you're starting to form bonds, and then summer it was, you know, you got even more closer. Then I was hoping it would lead up to, you know, winter having the giving the pendant, and having sort of, you know, a wedding at the end of the concert, which I think would have been really sweet, and everyone would have been like really excited about that. I think, especially like, imagine if they just kept like the winning bachelor a secret, and said it was like the player going to buy the pendant, and then like you'd only find out at the wedding who was actually the favourite. I mean, that would have been nice. And then, so there was a big screen behind the musicians, and so it was showing like clips from the game, animations, and also still drawings. I would have loved to have seen more animations, they were great. The gameplay clips they chose, I feel like they could have been chosen with more care. I couldn't tell if it was like on purpose, but for spring, it was like completely like it's a new year on the farm. There's like you got nothing. You're just growing parsnips. That's it. Like you're chopping down the trees, like tidying up your farm, stuff like that. And then it hits to summer, and like the player, like Leo's living in the village somehow. He's living in the village. I'm like losing my voice here. Oh my gosh. And then the trash panda's there, or the trash bear, and it's like this is literally year 3 summer. Like how like what is this? And like people like laughed, and like it was funny, but I was like, this doesn't make sense for the story, and it kind of like threw me off a bit. It felt like they'd sort of just taken random gameplay clips, gone like, oh, that's summer, let's take that and put this into what's going to be shown at the concert, rather than like somebody had made the footage themselves by like playing the game. Okay. And who else names their? I name my farms like when I start them, so I remember like what I'm currently playing, which is so silly. And then let's see. And then after summer, the players somehow completed the community center, which I'm sure is possible, but again, unrealistic. And the player went to the desert and to Ginger Island before reaching the bottom of the mines, which again, impossible. I feel like I don't know. It would have been better for them to like reorganize things. So like maybe they still complete the community center after summer, but you know they finish the mines before then, or I don't know. It just felt like some reorganizing should have taken place. And then before the concert started, the conductor announced that there was going to be a video call from Concerned Ape himself, and like I was actually so excited because I was like, "There's no way." Like he's actually taking time to speak to all of the audiences at these concerts. That's like crazy, and it was 3 p.m. UK time. I'm not sure what time zone he lives in, but that would have been like somewhere between like 6 and 9 a.m. for him. So again, I was like, oh my gosh, like it's actually so good that you know he has time to do that. No, it wasn't a video call. It was a pre-recorded like clip, which is fine. Completely fine. But I feel like calling it a video call and then it wasn't a video call was so like disappointing. I'm not like oh I expected Concerned Ape to make time for that. It was more just like why did you call it a video call? But yeah, the clip was really nice. I'm really excited for the new update. The new Maharaj candidates. Oh, it's gonna be so cool. I really think it's gonna be the Wizard and Sandy, or 2 new candidates that we've not seen before. And I'm pretty sure they played all of the main songs from spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And then my favourite song that they played was actually the Wizard song that plays in his house. That was just like so good. And then for the end of the concert, they played the Perfection, the music that plays when you hit Perfection, and there was a really nice credit scene animation. That like tied in so well with Stardew Valley's actual credit scenes after Perfection, which was like so good. And there was a proposal at the concert, which is really cute. I guess it was like Valentine's Day, and it's so sweet, and it was just so nice. Oh, and then we also I can't remember if I brought this up already, but we did get an A4 piece of paper that had Grandpa's theme on it, which is quite nice. So now I have that, so we'll try and, I don't know, find somewhere to put it. But it's quite nice that, you know, everyone sort of got that for free. Any more thoughts do I have? Yeah, I feel like my main takeaways was I'd like for the sort of the concepts to be sort of rearranged to fit be more logical with the game's story and the new gameplay gives. Yeah, check out the set list. I'll have a link below. It's like their official one that they've made. It's different from what we experienced. Yeah, and I'll have sort of the website itself. You can book dates on it. I think right now there's still got quite a few dates available. I remember I bought the tickets for this in April last year because like they announced an extra London date, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna book it. Yeah, I can't remember if I said it was £50. I think it was worth it. Obviously, that is quite a lot of money, but it was really nice, and I would definitely go again. Or at least I do if probably not any time in the near future, but like I would, like if I was invited to go, I wouldn't say no. Um, yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'm really sorry. This is just like me yapping. I'm very unorganized, but I just wanted to sort of make a video on the concert in case anyone wanted to sort of know what it was like. But anyway, I hope you all have a very lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.